Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another closer look here on the Multimedia Chronicles. Today, we're going to be talking about the 80s, the series, also known as Miami Vice. Yes, one of the all-time greatest cop shows ever. And boy, I gotta say, this holds up phenomenally well for something that is so firmly set in a decade from 30 years ago. But it's just so well made. Like, it's so well shot and so well written and so well acted that it can easily pass for a show that was made today that just happens to be set in the 80s. Like, just look at it as a period piece, and it looks and feels like a modern show. It has all the dramatic impact of a modern show, and it's just so damn good. So, I recently picked up the Blu-ray set from Mill Creek, and as you know, a long time ago, I got the complete series DVD set in this beautiful faux alligator skin packaging, and I thought, hey, it'd be kind of fun to do a comparison between the two and just check them out. Plus, I think when I did my closer look at the original complete series set, it was before the days of high definition, at least here on the Multimedia Chronicles. So, time for a revisiting. Let's see it in high def, and then talk about the high def version. Alrighty, Miami Vice, today on a closer look on the Multimedia Chronicles. Welcome back. So, Miami Vice, I actually didn't really watch this very much when it was originally on, to be perfectly honest. It came out in 1984, which was a period in time when I was mostly obsessed with Transformers and sci-fi stuff. So cop shows weren't really my thing back then. Some of my friends were into it, and they talked about it, and I did catch the odd episode here and there, and I thought, yeah, this isn't bad. It's not really my thing. So it wasn't until later I started to get really into cop shows and stuff like that. I caught it in a few repeats, and I bought the soundtrack album, and I just fell in love with it. And then the DVD sets came out, and I bought the first couple seasons. They were the old flipper discs. But then the complete series set came out, and it went on sale on Woot.com for like $40 or something like that, which was crazily cheap for it at the time. So one of my friends bought it for me, and then I just gave him the money and paid him back, and then he sent it out my way. And what a beautiful set. This is a beautiful set, and we'll take a look at it in just a minute. And then, I remember watching this with Skin Slip and Styled Man, and we were just thinking, like, wow, I wonder if, this is kind of from the era where they started to do things, like the production process for shows was they would film them on film, but then do all the editing and mastering on video. I wonder if they have the original film prints from Miami Vice, because I would love to see this on Blu-ray. And lo and behold, it seems that Universal was one of the few studios that kind of bucked the trend and still did everything on film, because we got it on Blu-ray, thanks to Mill Creek and their recent deal with Universal to release a bunch of their shows. So we now have Miami Vice in full high definition with all the original music intact, which is amazing. I think Universal kind of planned ahead for that a little bit, and just to make the licensing a bit easier at the time, even though home video wasn't really a thing yet, they basically just took stuff from their own music library that they already had the rights to. So, of course, Universal is also UMG, Universal Music Group, which signs bajillions of bands. So, yeah, they planned ahead. So, as a result, it's one of the few shows from that era that for which, which is really noted for the music, using like the licensed music, that we have a home video release of that has all the original music intact. There's a lot of other shows from that era that used licensed songs that have since come to home video and had to have a lot of music replaced because they didn't have blanket rights for them for home video as well. But whatever Universal did, they did it right, because it allowed them to do the show justice by keeping all the music intact, which is really important for a show like Miami Vice, because that's one of the things it was really noted for, was it was one of the first shows to really use a lot of licensed music. So, I mean, you'd be watching this week's episode of Miami Vice, and you'd be hearing something you just heard on the Top 20 Hit Parade earlier that day. I mean, it stayed really current with all the latest hot music, and you would often hear it in the show. And it was one of the first shows to do that. It was also the first show to be broadcast in stereo. So not only were you getting all this great music, you were getting it in stereo. So Miami Vice and Voltron Both came out in 1984. Voltron was the first animated show to be done in stereo. Miami Vice was the first live-action show to be done in stereo. So at the time, stereo TVs were brand new, and it was a big thing. People were hungry for content to try out on their new, awesome stereo TVs. Like, my God, 2 speakers on a TV? That's unheard of. And, well, so Miami Vice would play during the evenings, and Voltron would play all day in the music stores to promote these TVs. And, and then it wasn't long before we got hi-fi stereo VCRs. I remember they released a few VHS tapes of Miami Vice, specifically of the pilot movie, and then I think the 2-hour premiere of Season 2, The Prodigal Son. But that was it. I mean, so it was one of the earlier shows to be released on home video in stereo. And, it just broke so much ground, like in terms of the style, in terms of the music, in terms of, home video. It was one of the first TV shows to have like a full-blown hit soundtrack album with not only the fantastic score from Jan Hammer, but also a lot of the licensed music as well. It's just an amazing show. And then on top of it all, it's just a really good show. Like, it's so well written and acted and filmed, and it's like every episode feels like a mini movie. It's just so cinematic. You know how shows now have that feel to them. They're like mini movies, and they're very cinematically done. Well, back then in the 80s, there was a very clear line between film and television. Like, television was always sort of the low-budget stepbrother of film. Like, you could always tell when it was a show because it looked like a show, not a movie. Miami Vice looked like a movie every week. It was a frickin' movie, and it's just amazing. And I think that's all of those factors are why it holds up so well today and still remains as one of the all-time great cop shows. And I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So let's head down to the black box and check out the DVD set and the Blu-ray set of Miami Vice. Okay, so we'll start off with the Blu-ray set here, because I know this is what you guys are dying to hear about. So here we've got all 5 seasons of Miami Vice in glorious high definition. I've watched the first few episodes of this, and I gotta say, it looks and sounds amazing to me. It's got, very filmic look. Film grain is quite apparent throughout. It really brings the sort of cinematicness of it very beautifully outward. Now, I gotta say, there were some issues with the sound mix on a few episodes. In particular, Heart of Darkness and Evan both had issues with the 5.1 sound mix, and then there was a couple other episodes where apparently they forgot to put the 5.1 mix on the Blu-rays. Mill Creek, however, has responded to concerns about that, and if you do have the faulty discs, just get in touch with them, and they will furnish you with replacement discs. So, yeah, unless this is like, 20 years later that you're watching this video. So, yeah, so don't worry if you got a couple of issues there. They should be able to fix it up for you. And then anything beyond that is, well, your own problem. Anyway, so here we basically just got all 5 seasons in keep cases in essentially a cardboard box. So it's very similar to the Knight Rider set that I did a closer look of a while ago. So just take these out here, and we'll take a look at each one individually. So then on the spines, very nice. We got the boys there. Very nice. And then on the bottom, you got some of the specs and whatnot. There's, don't think there's any subtitles on these. No, there's no subtitles. It's just the audio. But you do have 5.1 surround and 2.0 stereo, so you get to experience the original 80s stereo mix if you so choose. Okay, so I'm just gonna zoom in just a tad here. Boom! There we go. Alright, so that's season 1. And there's the spine, they're very nice. And there's on the back. So these are all bare bones, it's just the episodes. There's no extras on here, which seems to be pretty much the norm for these Universal shows that Mill Creek's been putting out. So then if we crack it open, once again, very similar to the Knight Rider set, where it's basically 4 discs per season, stacked. But again, being Blu-ray, we're not really too concerned about scratches, and that's okay. That's all right. So it's anyway, it's better than the way they do their TV show sets now with those cardboard cases that everybody hates. I've always said bring back the paper sleeves because at least then all the discs were protected. So there's season 2. So slightly different coloring on the logo for each season just to kind of differentiate them, which is quite nice. Yeah, I found out, actually, you may have noticed the title screen for this video. I actually have the Miami Vice font. All this time, I didn't realize that's what that font was. It wasn't called Vice or Miami or anything like that. It's actually called Broadway BT. And I typed out Miami Vice in the font, and it was exactly the same. The only difference is you may notice little breaks in some of the lines between the main part of the letter and where it goes into the skinny part. That's the only thing my version doesn't have. But otherwise, it is absolutely identical. So that was kind of a nice surprise when putting together this closer look. It's like, hey, I actually have the font. There we go. I'm not going to show you every disc. It's basically the same disc art on all of them. The only difference being they've changed the coloring to match the coloring of the individual season. So there we go. And there we go. We get some nice turquoise and orange. And hey, Tubbs has a beard. I wonder if that's the evil Tubbs. Because, in sci-fi, it's always the evil version of the hero is the one with the beard, right? So, there you go. And finally, we have Season 5, the epic conclusion. There you go. So we got purple and orange. So it seems to be, kind of similar colors for the logo throughout the seasons, but there you go. Oh, that's fallen off. And that's that. All 5 glorious seasons of Miami Vice. In beautiful filmic high definition. Yeah, definitely looking forward to sitting down and powering through this whole series. Likely going to do a group viewing with Stoudman and Skinslip because that's how we were watching it initially. Now, I thought we'd take an encore look at the DVD set that I got a few years back. Boom! Yeah, this is quite a sizable set. But here, hopefully, you can see a little bit more of the texturing on it. The faux alligator skin for the box, which I've always thought was pretty snazzy. Because when I did check the old closer look, and yeah, it was actually 720p. I think it was actually up-converted standard def. It wasn't even proper high def. So you should be seeing a lot more detail now than what we saw before. There we go. So then if we crack it open, oh, look at that. You have, I don't know how well you can see this here, but it's all felt inside. It's very very classy. I don't know how well the color is coming through. It's kind of a turquoise color. And then inside we have the 5 season sets upside down. Let me just slide these out one by one here. So this is the same cover art that was on the individual season sets that Universal released a few years prior to this collection here. So the only difference is the originals were basically a digipack inside a slip box. This is just the digipacks because, of course, they have the big snazzy alligator skin box to put them in. And there we go, and we have our discs listed there. Actually, this is discs 4, 5, and 6. And, oh, look, single-sided. Oh, yeah. Because, of course, the original season set releases were all those double-sided dual-layer discs that everybody loved so much. Yes, I'm being sarcastic. So here, for the complete series set, they reauthored them all to single-sided discs. Now, I'm going to do something here because I noticed there is artwork underneath all of the discs. So I'm going to take all of the discs out here for you guys so you can actually see the artwork. I don't know if this is something we did last time, but whoops, there goes one of the discs. I should mention also, well, I'll show you in a second here, but there. So if we take a look, I don't think I can pull back. Can I pull back? Yeah, there we go. So there we go. Very nice. Very nice artwork underneath there. Yeah. So then I'll just put all the discs back in here. Just give me a second. So we'll do 6 and then put 5 on top. Okay. Then we'll do 4. And we'll put 3 on top. Then we'll do here 2. And we'll put 1 on top. There we go. Okay, that's that. So one thing I was going to say, whereas with the Mill Creek set, of course, there's no extras. On this one, there actually is. There's 5 featurettes. This is another difference between this and the original season sets. Originally, these 5 featurettes, you would have 1 per season set. That would be the 1 extra you would get with each season set. And this complete series set, not only did they reauthor everything to single-sided discs, but they gave you all 5 extras from the previous season set releases on the first disc. So all 5 featurettes are back-to-back there, which is quite handy to have them all in one place. So it's organized slightly differently than the original season sets, but all the contents are there. All the contents are there and the same. So I'll just pull this back a little bit. There we go. So this, of course, is Season 2. I actually really like the artwork on these. They did a really nice job on the design. There you go. And like that. And once again, different. In this case, they did sort of just one unified color for the logo on the discs. So we're just going to pop all these out so you can see all the artwork again. There we go. Yeah, I don't think I ever actually got around to watching all these. We were in the process of watching them and just never got around to finishing them. So hopefully, when we all get the Blu-ray sets, we will do that. I mainly just keep this around now for the packaging and for the display piece, because I mean, it really is a beautiful set and it does look quite impressive on the shelf, I gotta say. So I don't know how valuable this is now. I mean, I remember when this set came out, it was about $200, and then I got it on sale. It was on sale from I think I mentioned in one of either the intro or I mentioned in the outro, I can't remember, but I got it on sale for about $40 including shipping. It was ridiculous. So a friend of mine bought it for me, and I just paid him back basically because I didn't have a active credit card at the time, so I couldn't take advantage of the sale. But so he bought it for me and sent it my way, and I just paid him back, and was quite thrilled. It was a set that I had wanted to get for a while because I had never... Oh, hey, look, an ad for other Universal sets. What do we got here? A-Team, Magnum, Simon & Simon, Airwolf, Knight Rider, Miami Vice, of course, Quantum Leap, Sliders, Amazing Stories, Alias Smith & Jones, Northern Exposure, and Roar. There we go, with Heath Ledger, R.I.P. So, very nice. So this one, I guess, was a slightly shorter season. We only have 5 discs instead of 6. But, so we'll just pop these out here, and we'll check out the artwork. Yeah, I don't think I did this last time because these discs do not feel like they've ever been removed from these hubs. You know, you can tell, right? Like it's, you can kind of feel when they're a little bit looser just because you've taken them out a few times. But that's very nice. No character pictures. I know this is all just environment pictures. So, all right. So let's put all these back in here. Spending longer talking about this than the Blu-ray set. Well, quite frankly, there's just more packaging here. So it's kind of unavoidable. But I thought you'd appreciate a more in-depth encore look at this set because, as I said, the original closer look I did was so bloody long ago. I mean, it was... You're seeing way better color and way more detail now than you would have seen back then. Looks like this one was slightly shorter as well. But does it say how many episodes? No, it's 22 episodes. I don't know. Oh, there we go. And got the same ad again. I don't know why they included it a couple of times. It's all going into the same set, boys. But anyway. Pop all these out. There we go. I'll pull that back for you. Look at that. It's pretty nice. I like that. You really don't see this attention to detail in package design anymore. It seems to be kind of a lost art. They just seem to go with the most minimal packaging possible. Like I know a lot of TV show sets on DVD have since been re-released in slimmer packaging with less artwork, and it just isn't the same anymore. But I keep hoping that with the big Universal deal that that Mill Creek got, I'm hoping that they'll get a few more of them. So I just got to put this back in here. I'm hoping that maybe they can make another deal and release some of their other shows. Because there's a few others that have actually been released on Blu-ray overseas, but we haven't seen them over here, such as Columbo, which you know I'm a big fan of. Magnum P.I. is another one. The Incredible Hulk is another one. So it'd be great to see those get Blu-ray releases over here. But I don't know if it was just a one-off deal or what, but I know that Mill Creek has done quite a lot with the license, and they've released most of the shows that they got in multiple forms. Not only giving us the Blu-ray editions for the first time ever, but also giving us, oh, there it is again, 3 times they put this in there. I don't know. But also doing DVD editions for those who still buy DVDs. So we'll just take a look at the last one here, the final season. So I guess the first one was 6 discs because it had those featurettes. I don't know. But, whatever the case may be, I don't care. And there we go. The grand finale. The saga is over. The 80s are done. So, let's pop that back in there. I don't care if they're perfectly straight. I won't be looking at them again until we get the 4K edition of Miami Vice and I pull this set off the shelf again. Yeah, right. Let's look at it again in even more detail. Yeah, it's like you're here. There we go. So, look at that. You can really see the felt there better, I think. But it's all through the box. I mean, that is pure class. Like, you just do not see sets like that. And then the box itself, I mean, has these very sturdy hinges on it. So, right there. Yeah, so it's a good set. It's definitely a good set. So I'm just going to slide these back in. To be a little finicky there. So speaking of Mill Creek, just one last thing I wanted to show you here. If you take a look, they have put out the first 2 seasons on DVD. So you can see those there. I think the covers are pretty much the same as the Blu-ray editions here. If you take a look. So that's the DVD edition and the Blu-ray edition. There we go. Yeah. And then season 2, there's the DVD edition, which of course I don't have. I'm just showing you a picture. And the Blu-ray edition. I don't have the DVD in front of me. I don't know. Are they the same? I think they are. But and then they did this collection as well, which actually paired up the first season of Miami Vice with the first season of Knight Rider, interestingly enough. Yeah, sort of an 80s crime collection. And then it says 20 bonus episodes. The bonus episodes are actually just sort of a random assortment of other stuff, mostly public domain stuff. Like, I thought maybe it'd be another season of another Universal show or something, or maybe some selected episodes. But no, it's actually just random stuff from their public domain libraries. There's like episodes of Dragnet in there, and Sherlock Holmes and things like that. So it's just kind of a random assortment of stuff. But yeah, so there you go. I do love me some Vice. So there you go. Both very nice collections. And even though the Mill Creek set is bare bones, I mean, dude, you're missing literally 5 dinky little 2-minute featurettes. Like, I think you'll be okay. It is so worth it to get it, to have it in high definition. It's just beautiful. And, yeah. Alrighty, well, that is it from me to you for now, so I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time. If you'd like to add either of these to your collection, please consider using my Amazon link. You'll see it in the description down below. Be sure to catch me on Twitch. I stream almost every day, and actually, whenever I make videos, I do it all live now. So if you want to watch the process of me filming and messing things up, and then editing, and I chat with everybody as I'm working as well. So we have a lot of fun there. So be sure to stop by whenever you can. Be sure to catch me on Discord. You find the link for that in the description as well. And yeah, so we'll see you next time. So big thanks to you for watching. Big thanks to my Patreon sponsors. And until next time, sayonara. And there you go. So, get your 80s on with Miami Vice. You won't be disappointed. Yeah, it's fucking great. I love it. Yeah.